It's one of the greatest questions of all time. And in this month's Growth Leadership and Management tip, I want you to think about it. Imagine that you walked into an organization with the beginner's mind and you sat down with the team and you said, hey guys, I just want to ask you a very simple question. How do we do it here? And they're going to look at you. What do you mean? Well, how do we generate the leads? How do we win the business? How do we actually process the stock to get it sold or to get it let? And this is such a crazy idea, right? Because you think you know it seriously well, but how well do the people inside of your organization actually know what it is that we do, why we do it, and why it fundamentally works? Now, one of the great conversations was this one. I was working recently with a BDM team, and I was there and I said to them, hey guys, I want to ask you a quick question. What is equity? And they looked at me and they're like, we don't know. I was like, okay, what are some of the challenges that you face? Well, to be honest, literally we see that people ring us up. It's really competitive about fee and we don't know how to really compete. And I was like, guys, hang on a second. The problem is not the problem. The way you think about the problem, that's the problem. I said, what would actually happen if you changed the way that you actually have a conversation with a potential landlord? What happened is literally when they got on the phone, you literally took them through a form. You said, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Landlord, it's so great to work with you. I understand that you're looking to lease out an investment property. And I just wanted to ask you a couple of simple questions. Have you leased out the property before? No, you haven't. Have you been a landlord before? No, you haven't. This is your first time. Okay, and have you just purchased the property? You have, okay. And is there a particular weekly rental that you need to get? You need to get $400 a week. And why is that? Oh, because your mortgage repayments are $350. Okay, as a part of that conversation, are you open to some capital improvements on the property? Like if we had some suggestions to maybe repaint or change a kitchen bench or something like that, would you be open to that if it actually increased the rental yield? Or are you in a position that you're saying, you know what, I only want to do emergency maintenance? In addition to that, do you have a depreciation schedule in play? And what about your insurances? Have you got your landlord insurance already organized on the property? And in terms of that conversation, how long are you planning on owning the property for? What's the length of the tenancy that you're after? And can you tell me a little bit about what your expectations are of a property manager? All of a sudden, in seconds, people go, wow, how does this person know so much about what actually happens inside of the property management world? And this is the challenge. When someone rings you up and all of a sudden they just ask you based on fee, what ends up happening? You're literally then choosing to be a commodity. When they're a commodity, there is no difference. Turns out what I've learned, there's a huge difference. We've got people in our industry that have not yet learned what equity means. And that therefore means to me that you don't understand that your landlord's just gone through the biggest equity event, which means they could literally go and buy another investment property and add to their portfolio, which is the very job of what a BDM actually does. So if you don't know how to explain what we do, why we do it, and how it works, then how does the customer actually see value? And if you don't value you, no one else will. That's the most important part of being a great leader inside of your organization, is to ask great questions of your people, to challenge them on their knowledge, and to take them on that journey of being able to grow that knowledge, that skill, and that capability so they can literally be incredible in front of clients.